Okay, everybody, a lot of action to get through today. It's not too much with men's singles. There was no women's singles, and there was the rest of the men's quarterfinals. But a lot of the action was mainly in the doubles, the juniors, and also women's and men's doubles, and also the first ever televised wheelchairs tennis. Incredible. Anyways, we'll start off Arthur Ashe. I could not believe this wasn't at night, and if this wasn't going to be at the prep match before the Djokovic match, I mean honestly, why not Murray Wawrinka? Okay, I understand Djokovic's number one. Okay, so he's at night, and then you prep it with either the American doubles with the Bryants or the women or the American women doubles with the Williams sisters. And I know there's other logistics I may not understand, but wow, you'd have to do some explaining to me for this one. But anyways, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, there wasn't many people there in the beginning, but it really did start to fill up later in the day. And the Bryans lost. And honestly, I can't help but think that they had a night crowd behind them, because during part of the match when actually the whole second half, when Paes and Stepanik were winning points, they were doing like this duck crawl thing with each other, this dance, like, I don't know, kind of a primitive dance kind of thing. And it was cool at first, but they kept doing it, and I think the Bryans were getting a little irritated, and I can't imagine the night crowd wouldn't have went nuts on that, but like boo, and then like been going crazy for the Bryans. And okay, forget about the dance, just pumping the Bryans up and helping them get through. It may not have worked anyway. I picked Paes and Stepanik if you saw my Day 11 preview. Because Paes got his second win. He had a terrible start to the year, but he took some rest. I guess he got revved up. He's an older guy, but he's really on fire again, and his reflexes look great again. And Stepanik came back from an bad injury, and he looks pretty good. And they're more refreshed and rested, and they've looked great. I mean, when Paes is on, and when they work together, Stepanik and Paes work great together. And bing, bang, boom. I mean, the Bryans work great together too, but they have a little chinks in their armor ever since they kind of had more of a family life and settled down a bit. The doubles is such a small margin, way smaller than even the singles. Any little teeny thing could change the dynamic. But the Bryans have had a great year. There's nothing wrong. But Bob, I think, might have lost a bit of a zip on his serve too. He gets broken more now, it seems like. So just a little bit. So anyway, Stepanik, surprisingly to me, was actually really nervous to start and made a lot of errors and really went down. He got broken, and that's why the Bryans won the first set. I don't know why, to be honest. I mean, he's been here, been there, done that, but you can't figure this all out. And then the second set, Stepanik started to get it together, and then Paes was on fire and doing really well, and they broke Bob Bryan again. And I think he doesn't have quite as much pop. And they got the break, and they held on to it, and the Bryans couldn't get it back, so they went to a third set. And if I recall, I may have this wrong, but I thought both Bob and Mike got broken. And then they were down 2 breaks, but they got one of the breaks back. But I could be wrong. But either way, they lost by a break. They tried hard to get it back, but just Pace and Stepanik are just hot right now. They're really doing well. And they're a great team, and they're hot. I mean, and the Bryans have, just a little, like I said, didn't get over the hump there. And it's been a long year. But, I mean, a lot of pressure, but a great year. They won 3 out of the 4 slams. So Americans were upset by that. It would have been very interesting to see what the night match might have brought. Maybe a little more energy to push them through, but wasn't to be. USTA, US Open needs to explain this, in my opinion. And plus, the night match tonight did not have really two matches. The one was an exhibition. So that's not really cool to do to the patrons who pay the money. So, I don't know. Anyway, after that match, we had Wawrinka and Murray on Ashe, and no big deal here. Wawrinka beats him 3 straight. I think everybody's shocked, actually. Wawrinka's doing great. He is definitely on the tired end. He's had a long season. He's physically a little depleted, I think, and his back may even be a little sore for all we know. But it doesn't matter at the moment, because on the brain, his adrenaline is firing. He's going on all cylinder. He's confident. He's happy. He's having a good time. He should get through this Open unless the back really flares up or he gets really exhausted. I don't think he's going to let down. I think he's going to keep playing well the next match too, and he will not be easy in the semis. And but Murray didn't play his best at all. And he hasn't played well the whole tournament. I think the pressure of defending it was a combination of two things. And it was mainly mental. It's usually mental with Murray because the potential's all there, the talent, and as far as he talked about the conditions changing, the hot, the humid, now the cold, the wind, well, he can do all that. That's not really the problem. He's been cranky, and to me, when Cranky Pants gets going, that's where the problems come up. Other than that, he can handle stuff. I think after the Wimbledon, he really had like a letdown, and he even mentioned in the news conference, his all his life he wanted to win this Wimbledon, and it did kind of, he came down. It was hard to get revved back up for the season, the rest of the season, and then on top of that, once he does get kind of revved up and he's trying to get it going, I can't help but believe he felt some pressure just defending the title for the first time in his life, defending his first Grand Slam title. He'll have that next year at Wimbledon as well. Maybe he'll deal with it a little better next time. But it was the combination of the right after Wimbledon, defending, you've got a little letdown, you've got the nerves. He just could never find his comfort level. He was never comfortable. And Wawrinka has found a great comfort level. So congrats to Wawrinka. Served fantastic as well, by the way. He outserved Berdych and Murray now. This is that exhibition match. I don't know. I didn't really see any of this. We're just going to move on. It's a strange thing. And even if you don't put the doubles in, why don't you put in the Battle of the Broadcasters that was on Court 7 in the middle of the day? Anyway. Djokovic, Yuzhny, I was there live, had a great time. Get some of my videos on my YouTube channel. At one point, literally, I started going, Yuzhny, and yelling, making it a football match. In the second set, I noticed it pumped him up a bit. He started to do better, and he was really feeding off the crowd. He looked so tired and beat right off the bat, right out when he came out, even before the match started. Djokovic's energy looked great all night. And then when the crowd started getting crazy, it helped him a lot. So when the third set was about to start, I'm like, I'm not going to sit here for this. So I said, come on, Yuzhny! And I started yelling, and then the crowd started yelling, and I taped a little bit of it. But anyway, and I think it was 1-2 or something, and I knew he was going to break, and he got all pumped up, and then he did a great shot, and I was like, Yuzhny, and at one point he was like, come on, stand up, and everybody kind of got really into it, and he really fed off the crowd. Was up a break, did lose it, but then got it back, and then he served out the set. It was great. Djokovic was pretty lethargic in a way. He was kind of flat. The crowd was flat too, and so we started pumping it up in that third set. And if you want to see the videos of me pumping it up, you can check it out on my YouTube. Like I said, check out the third set stuff. But I wouldn't be too concerned about Djokovic. I'm telling you, he's had such an easy draw. This backfires. He needs somewhat of a challenge to get ready, to be in form. And I think he was just sluggish, but once Yuzhny pressed him, I was laughing because Djokovic seemed kind of mad that we were all doing this, but I'm laughing because I was like, dude, this is helping you, Mr. Djokovic. I mean, you need a little challenge here. And sure enough, he raised his level. Of course he did. Now he has to fight more. He pumped it up. In the last set, he was doing much better, and Yuzhny had nothing left. And he actually was really trying. He at one point, he almost stumbled and fell down. He just really had nothing left. But great heart, a great tournament for him. And now we'll see what Djokovic has going in against Wawrinka. Wawrinka has way better form. He's had much tougher tennis. And he's fired up and ready to go. But how much does he have in the tank? I think he has enough. I mean, he didn't have a hard summer hardcourt season. So, because he didn't play much with his back. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a battle. I think Djokovic should. We'll talk about that in the preview. But anyways, moving on. Altamirano. It was neat to see this guy. He reminds me of Nadal a bit, like the right-hander. He works the point a lot. He fights a lot. He's patient. Mackenzie McDonald's a small kid, and he takes it early. And he jumped over Altamirano. Won the first set. Then he really started to tire near the end of the second set. You could see it. And he lost his concentration. He lost a set. He went down a break early in the third. He was kind of hitting himself in the head. He was upset. He tried to get it back. He fought hard to try to get it back, but he just couldn't get it back all the way, and Altamirano won. Altamirano's more sturdy, a stronger kid, but not real big, not tall, but stronger, and he can last longer. McDonald's has great strokes and takes it early, but he has a body that will tire a lot. The Williams, Irani, speaking of tiring, mentally, Irani definitely is exhausted, if not physically. Vinci, I think she's not 100% at all. I said that in her. I said, let's see how she does in doubles, because I know in the singles she didn't look 100% fit. And she was grimacing. She was doing that grimacing again in the doubles. So, in my opinion, she's definitely got something going on in her body. And Irani's not all there. And they fought. The second set looks terrible, but they actually fought hard in the second. I was watching it, but even fighting hard, it didn't matter. they made it close games, but lost every one. The Williams are getting their form back too. They have only played two times this year, so they were rusty at first, but now they're looking good. So, but they are behind. They're going to have to play their semifinals tomorrow, and while the other ones right below here, Barty and Delacqua, that was their semifinals. If you notice here, that was the Williams quarterfinals. They got behind because Serena had so much tennis. So they're going to be coming in maybe we'll see how this works. But Barty and Delacqua are going to have a day off of rest, so that might help them. Though they didn't have a tough one here. And they got knocked out of their singles right away. So Zhang Zi played some tough singles. I think she was a little tired. She looked sluggish. Mirza had a wrap on her leg, so they kind of pooped out. So the Barty Delacqua team, this is exciting. They are fun. And I'll tell you what, they will not go down easy if the Williams make the final. It will be a challenge. The semifinals, it looks like the one Brazilian, Soares, beat his buddy Melo. And that makes sense. They were the number 2, and they've been together before, and they're a veteran team, Peña and Soares. So that's going to be a great one with Stepanik and Paes. And the first ever televised on Louis Armstrong, wheelchairs, by number 1, the best in the world, well, maybe Wagner too, but anyway, Kunieda, awesome. And he won. And I got there, and I just missed getting into Louis Armstrong to see some of that. Oh, well. Wagner, quads, I can't believe it wasn't closer than this. I'd like to hear some more about this, but wow, that's a shock. Yeah, and they might end up being the guys in the final. So Lapthorne can't get Wagner. He has not yet been able to overcome Wagner this year. So this will be fun. That veteran is keeping the youngster down. But usually it's like 3 sets, so check it out. Maybe Lapthorne's got a little bit of an injury or something. I don't know how that works with wheelchairs. Okay, Houdet, he did his job. Okay, we're moving on. Vink lost, actually. Vink's a veteran, but he lost. All right, and that's the wheelchairs as well. Court 11, Varave took care of his business. Quincy, good for you, Quincy. We have the Mack brothers. Check that out. They could have been at 7 o'clock in the prep for the Djokovic match. I'm going to go on and on about that. Okay, Ellerbrock, good job. Everybody, all the favorites won. Conju did her job. Chirico, that was a good one, though. Look at that. I don't know anything about this Gordon girl, but that went far. So I wonder how Chirico's feeling. All right, and Navratilova did the job with Renee Stubbs. Stubbs got broken serving for the match, but I guess they broke right back and won or whatever. So, yeah, Navratilova not having any of this, even in the champions. Instead of legends, they call it champions. But anyways, okay. Hebe. Oh, wow, she's still in the juniors. Good for her. She got in the national playoffs for the main draw. And I'm sorry, no, she won the national playoffs to get into qualifying as a wild card. Won a qualifying match, but then lost the next one. But the Japanese Hebe, good for her. Let's see how far she goes. And I think that's a lot of juniors here. Korik. It looks like a lot of. There's Siniakova. It's good. There's no upsets here. Looking good. Looking good. What do we have? More wheelchairs. Okay. Okay. Kakanakis got through. So it was a solid day of tennis.